When we first drove the Renault Kiger, we were impressed enough to pick it over its sibling, the Nissan Magnite, as well as crowd favorites like the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza, as well as the Kia Sonet. But that was the turbo petrol manual. Today we're driving the turbo CVT to see if it's similarly well executed or otherwise. The Kiger CVT uses the same Nissan-sourced X-Tronic gearbox that's fitted to the Magnite, pairing with the same 1-litre 100 PS 3-cylinder turbo petrol. And just like the Nissan, the torque output is a slight 8 Nm down on the manual version to 152 Nm. And there are no real surprises on the move, so this CVT is one of the better examples of this technology that we've experienced in recent memory, and it continues here as well. So pretty much as soon as you press down on the throttle pedal, the SUV starts to move forward and there's no real delay. There's none of that sort of rubber band effect that people speak of in CVTs over here. And this is true for a range of situations, right from stop-start traffic to highway speeds. And the only time we notice this delay is when you rev the engine out to past 4000 RPM. But we suspect most owners of the Kiger will not exactly be too bothered with that. And so with this very natural flow that is there to the CVT's motions, you also don't really miss the fact that the gearbox doesn't let you take manual control, because in most situations you don't exactly need it.
Adding to this effect is the drive modes the Kiger offers. We were surprised to find quite a large degree of differentiation between the Eco, Normal and Sport modes on offer. This is true for the manual version as well, but Renault has seemingly gone a step further to change the gearbox's shift points too. Our pick would be the normal mode, which feels the most natural and optimizes efficiency as well as drivability. In Eco, the gearbox seems to move to the next ratio just as soon as the engine is hitting its stride, while in Sport, there's quite a bit of heft to the steering being added without too much more precision, and an excessively jumpy throttle pedal.
The 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol is the same in the CVT as in the manual Kiger, and there is some vibrations at idle, but these fade away pretty quickly as soon as you set off. But the only real aberration that we noticed is that below 2000 RPM, when the engine still isn't in the meat of its power band, the CVT can't quite mask the lag as well as it should. So say for example when you are picking up from a speed breaker, or say when you are just catching up to traffic on a crowded street, you notice that there's a slight delay. But in the CVT, the peak torque is made slightly lower, about 600 RPM lower than in the manual. So this trait doesn't linger for too long and it's really not that bothersome. And anyway, once you're past that, you notice that there is a very easy, confident, flat sort of power delivery, which may not be the most exciting of its kind, but it's definitely quite effective. The Kiger CVT carries over the general traits of the CMFA Plus architecture it's based on in the way it moves along on the road. So bad bumps and potholes are ably countered with quite a solid feeling from the SUV as it goes over these patches. There is some underlying firmness that comes through over uneven roads, but this is well damped and the experience is never uncomfortable. The steering feels light enough for use in traffic, and there's good highway stability whether in a straight line or around bends. But we think Renault could have used a 205 section tyre, like some rivals, to dial out the slight skittishness we felt around slippery high-speed curves. The Kiger CVT looks identical to the manual, save for the X-Tronic badging on the boot. So this quite intricately butch look continues here as well. It's the same on the inside, where space is generous for 4 adults. If anything, drivers will complain of a few blind spots around the A and C pillars because of the heavily stylized exterior. Rear passengers have masses of legroom and fairly supportive seats, but again a high window line and the dark interior theme takes some of the sense of space away. While most materials and touch points are hard plastic, expected at this price point, the general level of fit and finish and the many textures on offer don't leave much room for complaint. Commendably, Renault doesn't delete features on the top spec automatic here to keep prices in check. So you have a good mix of creature comforts highlighted by the ambient lighting, the potent climate control system, and the digital instrumentation. The infotainment is especially quick to pair to your phone, the wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, But we missed the wireless charger that would have been a great complement to this feature. It is available optionally as part of a larger pack. We would have liked to have seen a few more USB ports too. So for about 90,000 more than the manual, the decision is a bit of a no-brainer. At under Rs 10 lakhs ex-showroom, the Kiger CVT is a smooth and stress-free driving experience in a compact SUV package that is as spacious and as feature-loaded as anything else in the segment. Add to this the competent ride and handling package and these striking looks, and the Kiger CVT continues to remain one of our favorites in this segment.